All right, we are back looking at a second game in the in round 2 of bracket 2, and to check out the brackets and how your favorite players are doing or your friends are doing online, just go to starcraft2forum.org. You can see all the information there.
Yeah, it's really convenient. It'll give you a good overview of what's going on in the tournament up to now.
And of course, keep checking back as well for more videos, because this is only round 2, so it's very early on.
We're highlighting round 2 today.
And so we're going to be doing round 3. We're going to be doing all the rounds, and as we get on in the rounds, games are going to get better. We're going to know the players better, so keep checking back.
All leading up to the finals, which is going to be a live cast on Saturday night.
Yep, Saturday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, again, on Coolest Ravine, because we are in round 2, we have Zerg in the top right. The player's name is Quick.
Quick in the top right, Red Zerg. And David, the, what is that, teal or green?
I think it's teal.
The green teal, Terran.
No, it's teal.
The teal, Terran, David in the top left.
David the Terran. That kind of
who
sounds
also
right.
might be green.
No, it's teal.
Okay. So, anyway, to the game. It looks like
we're going for, so far, economic build with Zerg, no 10 pool rush, nothing.
And the Zerg Overlord scouting in what would be the logical direction to scout, but which is going to be the wrong direction.
Actually,
this.
You know what? Usually, since I play Zerg a lot, I will send my Overlord to the left. That way, my scouting drone doesn't have to go the long way around.
You know what? I completely agree with you, and what you just said made perfect sense.
It did.
On this map, playing Zerg, I would send my Overlord to the west-east nearest position and send my first drone scout to the north-south position.
So we have 14 pool for the Zerg. Wondering if he's going to get some kind of early gas that will tell what kind of build he's going for, whether 16 hatchery or some kind of Baneling and Speedling build. And for Terran,
it looks good so far. He's building a Warlord, which has denied the Zerg drone from getting into his main base and seeing what's going on inside. And because of how far away the Zerg's Overlords are right now, it's going to take him a long time to get any good scouting information. It might be after the Marines come out, in which case the Zerg will be denied any relevant scouting information from inside the Terran's main base.
SCV stuck on the outside. Oh, he gets the snipe and gets the scout.
Able to get in with his drone. That's horrible. He's going to be able to see that the command center is not yet upgrading to an orbital command, and that the Terran has gotten his first geyser.
And that was the one thing about choking off here as Terran, is you could sit there and try to get that snipe on the SCV as it makes its rounds around the barracks. But we also have that Marine out, so this scout's about to be finished. And what do we have here? We have the expansion going down at 20, so a little bit of a late expansion for the Zerg.
Yeah. On a positive note, though, for the Terran, one of the things about playing as Terran is that if you're able to get their scout into your base with a wall off like that, you are pretty much able to guarantee that that scout will be destroyed. But now, Quick making great use of his drone by stealing the Terran's second gas, so he's not able to build a refinery quickly, which is going to limit his tech options.
And now I like stealing the extractor this late in the opening, because a lot of times players will steal the gas very early, but it sets them back and they don't realize it. But this late at about 22 supply, it's not setting him back that much.
No, it's a perfect timing.
It keeps him. He gets to keep an eye on what's happening in the Terran base and make sure that he doesn't go for any gas-heavy builds, at least for the next minute or so.
And it's a really smart use of that drone, because there's no way that drone's getting out now with the Terran wall-off, as we were just saying. So it's a good way to get a little bit of an extra advantage out of that early scouting worker.
And I guess the Terran has not scouted the Zerg yet, so he's wasting scans around the map.
Yeah. You definitely want to send out an early worker unit to scout the positions near your main, so you can try to determine where your opponent is. Right now, those scans could be mules, and that could be helping the Terran's
That could be so much more extra income.
Immensely.
The second hatchery has finished. Drones are now droning.
They're droning away.
But we do have a Baneling nest, so it looks like we might be going for just a late... so Baneling nest and speed, so
Zerg
Speedling and Baneling attack coming up.
I've seen a lot of Zergs try to use Banelings to bust down Terran front gate wall-ins when the Terran builds their wall-in from supply depots. As a Terran, you really want to build your wall-in from supply depots because they offer a lot of flexibility, being able to sink and rise, letting your units in and out. But because they have such low HP, Zerg Banelings are perfect at destroying them and letting the Zerg units into the Terran main, where they can just wreak havoc.
So the Zerg just hanging around the outside of David's main base.
Yeah.
And this is a pretty precarious spot because these Banelings are going to bust through this so quickly, and just with this small force of bio, the Banelings could just tear this right down. But we do have a bunker going down right here.
Wow, that's actually going to be great placement for the... I don't think that...
He did a scan. He saw the Baneling nest.
He saw the Baneling nest, so that's actually perfect because Banelings are not only amazing at destroying supply depots, but will, as you said, Guns and Kimbo, really just rape that infantry.
But that attack coming in now before the bunker is done. Can you get that bunker down in time? And he's pulling back.
No.
Oh, 68 health left in that bunker.
Very close, but he does not get the bunker down. Really, in that situation, it would have been better for Zerg to attack with his Banelings the southern supply depot, not the one that was double walled by the bunker. I don't know if he could have seen it from where he was, though.
Yeah, it would have been a little bit... I mean, it would have been ideal for him to commit just a little bit more to that attack and just keep going instead of pulling back. Because now you have to bust all over again and waste all those Banelings on another structure. And Banelings, while they're decently cheap, it's still gas and it's still time. An attack like this, it's about the surprise, it's about the timing of it.
Absolutely.
To really get the turn off guard.
The gas cost of those Banelings absolutely does not balance out with the extra minerals that the Terran has to spend to repair their bunker. But he is in now, and the Zerglings are in the main base of the Terran.
But he's trying to focus on the army. He should have ran right by the army, used the speed advantage to get those SCVs down. And this is a terrible, terrible, terrible micro decision making.
What a waste of those Zerglings. And you're absolutely right, Guns and Kimbo. Once you have that speed upgraded Zerglings and you get them into your opponent's base, you really want to get them to their mineral line as fast as possible and kill workers, because it's those workers that are going to really hurt your opponent as much as you possibly can.
And that's what the speed is for. The speed is to get past and get around your opponent.
I'm nodding in agreement with you, even though no one can see me nod except for you.
I can see you. It's beautiful.
Yeah. I nod in the most beautiful way that any man has ever nodded.
Wow, it's epic.
Yeah, it's absolutely epic. Almost more epic than StarCraft 2, but not quite as epic.
But now Zerg going for the gold expansion, I guess trying to cut his losses and hope the Terran doesn't push out and see what's going on.
Well, at this point, to be honest with you, I think that Zerg is in a fantastic situation because he has sacrificed a lot of units and he's lost those Banelings and the gas put into them. But he does have 2 expansions up and running, almost fully saturated, and he has that 3rd one going down now while Terran is still on his original base. It looks like Zerg is doing an awesome job at containing the Terran, and so I think right now I place a firm advantage into the Zergs on the Zerg player Quick.
So it looks like Quick is about to go for one last bust attempt here.
Yeah. And then I'd like to see him, if this doesn't work, transition into something else, because in StarCraft 2 you can't keep up at something if it's not working. You have to be flexible and be willing to adjust. But with no bunker or supply depot rebuilt here,
yeah, these Banelings are going to tear apart these Marines.
Destroy the Marines.
Oh, but losing... Oh, whoa, okay, but the Zerg is pulling back after killing off...
Wow, that did much less damage than I thought it would. And actually, you can never underestimate the damage potential of Marines. They really just do so much damage at range.
He really needs to pull those Zerglings up front to absorb that damage, bring those Banelings back to really just focus on
Zerglings should
the
have definitely led that assault and had the Banelings come up in the rear in order to do some damage. A lot of times players will waste their Banelings by issuing attack commands too, and the Banelings will all explode on the same target, especially if it's a building. You really want to move command those Banelings, and when they're killed by the opponent, they'll explode anyway, so you don't need to worry about them not exploding. You really want to get them right into the middle of your enemy's forces.
Exactly. And now transferring more drones down to the gold mineral here, but we do have a Banshee.
Oh my goodness, Banshee's out for the Terran player, cutting right across the top of the map to the Zerg main base.
Is the Zerg prepared for this at all right now?
He does have his queen, and it looks like those Banshees are going to be focused on killing workers, I hope.
But there is no cloak on this Banshee, so the queen can come right in to push this away. However, he's not noticing what's going on.
But he does notice now only 1 drone kill was gotten on the Banshee, and that queen should be able to... Oh, but no, where's the queen going? You need to chase the Banshee away from your base. It's not gone yet. He needs to kill... There we go. Now the queen is a little bit more focused on chasing away the Banshee.
Slightly more focused.
But I did like how, even amidst the chaos of having your workers harassed, the Zerg player did still remember to spew larvae onto his
Yeah, it was a little bit of an interesting priority for that one, but you know, still.
How's the energy on Quick's queen? Is it he's keeping low, or is he getting a bit? Yeah, he's doing a pretty good job at constantly spawning larvae. You really, as Zerg, want to keep producing the spawn larva ability off of your queen, because it lets you have so many extra larvae as Zerg, and as we all know, larvae are key as Zerg to being able to keep up in units.
But the problem that's happening right now, though, with David is the fact that he had a small opportunity to come back and try to hurt the Zerg's economy, but now that Zerg is on 3 bases to the Terran player's 1 base, this is the part in the game where the tide starts to turn in a way that becomes harder and harder to push back.
Yeah.
Zerg on 3 bases, especially when one of those bases is a gold mineral patch,
Absolutely.
just has the ability to overwhelm you at almost any point that they feel like. And I think I get the feeling we're going to see that, because we do have Hydralisks coming out. We still have a strong force of 41 Zerglings, 12 Hydralisks, and those numbers are going to keep increasing.
And we can even see on the army overlay that Zerg is skyrocketing over Terran in terms of supply, now with almost twice the army of the Terran player. A lot of that is used up by drones, but just look at the size of that force of Hydralisks and Zerglings. And I've told you before, Guns Akimbo, I always feel that a Zerg on 3 bases is just one of the scariest things in StarCraft 2.
Yeah, it's one of those things where at the end of the game you think, why did I lose? And the only answer, it was nothing to do with your unit combination, nothing to do with your micro, nothing to do with even somewhat your macro. It had to do with the fact that you let the Zerg get to 3 or more bases.
Absolutely, and especially as the Terran here, I feel like it's a mistake for the Terran to stay on 1 base for so long. He really, at the very least, should use those awesome Terran floating command centers in order to take the high ground expansion to his south. But I guess he's feeling quite pressured by the Zerg all game and has not felt like he could spend the money he needs to expand. But he does have a high surplus of minerals, so, you know, I'm really questioning his decision to have not expanded yet.
Yeah, well, he doesn't know about the gold mineral patch, so maybe he's still feeling a little bit confident, because Terran can hold their own on 1 base against Zergs too, for the most part.
But as always, StarCraft is a economic game, and you cannot expect to turtle and win. You really always need to actively seek out new expansions, and in any situation that you're able to take a expansion as fast as you can. And it just doesn't look like the Terran is approaching the game from that mindset. It looks more like he's playing in a defensive manner that might cost him the game.
And now Zerg trying to take down this rock, taking it down so fast with all these Hydralisks. Stim just about to finish for the Marines, so this is going to be one hell of a battle. But these Hydras on this high ground do have the advantage, but they pull back for whatever reason.
It looks like he wants to morph a bunch of
Banelings
Banelings in order to suicide on the Terran infantry. That's a good choice, because, as we said before, those Banelings will really make a mess of the Terran infantry. But the Terran does have some siege tanks out in siege mode, and it's going to be difficult to approach the siege tanks with an army of Banelings who do have such low HP.
That's true.
And if they're killed before they reach the army, they do nothing.
Siege tanks are so powerful against everything. And look at those Banelings just exploding. Is anything going to get to them right here? This
no,
is
it doesn't.
Terrible.
Many Banelings at all are not getting, and some are getting stuck behind the Hydralisks. Those Banelings really didn't do much at all.
Yeah, those Banelings were so put to waste.
And now the Terran siege tank cutting up those Hydralisks. It looks like the Terran is going to be able to defend at least this push from Zerg.
All the Zerg player had to do was go right to this ledge and take out most of this army right here. That was all he had to do.
Actually, I actually agree with you. I don't think that it was a good decision for the Zerg to run down, because of the way that high ground advantage works in StarCraft 2. If he had attacked from that high ground ledge, the Terran would not have even been able to see him. So he could have taken out the tank, no problem.
But right now you're going to see the power of Zerg on 3 base, because even though
he's already back,
even though he screwed up all that micro and lost that battle, he can just keep pumping and pumping.
And here we see the epic Terran Thor, but it doesn't look like it's going to do much good in this situation, because it's fighting all by itself.
All by its lonesome.
And Terran thought he could go for a counterattack, but he ran right into the Zerg reinforcements.
And Zerg reinforcements will not stop coming at this point.
Right, especially because as we were mentioning earlier, the Zerg is now on 3 bases, and he can produce units essentially just as fast as he loses them.
And I think we're just going to see GG from the Terran here any moment, because there's nowhere else this can go.
Over, it should be GG at any point. So really, I would say that what lost Terran the game at this point is being too defensive, staying in his base, allowing the Zerg to get 3 bases, and not expanding himself and in any way trying to keep up with unit production. You can have the best control in the world and awesome placement on your defensive structures and tanks, but if you let your opponent get to 3 bases and you're still on 1, you're not going to win.